On the evening of October the 25th, 2023, just before 10 p.m, a family was winding down and getting ready for bed. The mother, having had a long day at work, was resting on the couch in the living room, while the children were chatting animatedly at the table, as energetic as ever. It seemed like just another typical night in the household, with very little drama, only a couple of tired parents, and the usual happy noise of children. It felt like an unusually calm evening, one of the most peaceful the family had had in a long while. There were no major arguments, just the usual sounds of a busy home. However, little did they know that the night would take an unexpected and eerie turn, and things would get strange far quicker than anyone could have anticipated. Out of nowhere, disturbing, almost demonic noises began echoing throughout the house. The mother, slightly startled, turned to ask her children what they were up to. She had grown accustomed to their usual antics, the constant bickering, and the playful chaos they often caused, so naturally, she assumed they were the ones responsible for the strange noises. But to her surprise, they denied any involvement. Too exhausted to argue, the mother decided to just lie back down on the couch and rest. But that's when something truly bizarre happened. The entire sofa seemed to shift and move. The way the sofa moved wasn't natural. It didn't make sense. There was no apparent reason for the furniture to shift like that, and it was clear that something otherworldly was at play. It left the family wondering if there was some kind of paranormal presence in their home. In the following video, a young and innocent girl excitedly showed off her new doll's cutlery set. She had owned the doll for more than 6 years, and as a reward for being well behaved, her parents regularly bought her new accessories and cosmetics for it. The girl had just received a set of new doll accessories that very day, and she couldn't wait to show them off. It was around 3 p.m. when she started displaying her new collection for the camera. But what was meant to be a simple moment of pride quickly turned into something that would make anyone's skin crawl.
Chicha. Ahora tengo 2 tenedores así, uno rosita, igual que el cuchillo que mostré al principio, no sé si lo mostré al principio, y este tenedor amarillo. Pues tiene, que se me está cayendo todo, perdón, se me está cayendo todo. 2 cuchillos amarillos iguales, tenemos otro cuchillo amarillo, pero más como amarillo flúor. Una cuchara, un rosquete para aplanar masa, una cucharita y un tenedor. Bueno, ya. Después, las tacitas. Tengo esta tacita rosita y esta tacita como fucsia. Huevo y
As the girl showcased her new set of cutlery, the doll appeared to move on its own. At first, the girl didn't notice, continuing to happily show her new items to the camera. But when she looked back, the doll had moved. It wasn't just a small movement either. This was a distinct shift in position. The doll appeared to want attention, and it moved again, this time in front of the girl's eyes. It was enough to make the girl panic, and she instinctively ran toward her mother for comfort. After the incident, The girl stopped posting videos involving the doll, and we haven't heard from her since. What makes the incident even stranger is that the doll had been a part of her life for so long, and she never experienced anything like this before. We can only wonder what truly happened that day. The next video features an employee working her shift at a local convenience store. Everything seemed normal at first. She was tasked with restocking shelves before the store opened to customers, a simple enough job. This particular task was often referred to by the staff as one of the easiest on the roster. It was typically something employees would do when they had a lighter load, and it allowed them to have an easy day. Little did this employee know that her shift would soon take an unexpected and eerie turn. What was supposed to be a routine, uneventful task became the most unsettling experience of her career. Take a look at the footage.
Vean, 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 vean. Ahí ya empezaron a abrir también. Vean, observen. Híjole. Vamos a tratar de no acercarnos, Jorgito, porque... Vean cómo se están abriendo las puertas. Vamos a ver de aquel lado. Ahí se ve cómo se están abriendo y cerrando. Toda la tarde he estado pasando esto, inclusive ya hay gente que se dio cuenta, clientes. Y híjole, la verdad sí es un poco temeroso. Ya le hablé a mi supervisor para que, vean, ya le hablé a mi supervisor para que viniera a ver esto que está pasando. No me cree, pero digo, quedó de venir, hasta ahorita no ha venido. Y no nos hemos atrevido a ir a la parte de atrás en la cámara porque pues nos da un poco de temor, ¿no? Porque pues esto es algo sobre...
In an unbelievable turn of events, the refrigerator doors started opening and closing on their own. There was no visible cause, no one was near the doors, and no equipment was malfunctioning. It was an impossible occurrence in any reasonable sense. Some experts believe that a spirit was responsible for this strange event, especially given that the room had a sudden chill after the first door opened. This is a typical sign of a paranormal presence. The employee later revealed that the atmosphere in the room had changed, becoming unnaturally cold, and it made her feel uneasy. Something supernatural had definitely happened in that store, and the employee couldn't explain it, nor would she want to experience it again. One cold winter night, two men set out to visit their grandma's grave in the local cemetery. She had passed away 3 years earlier, and the family commemorated her life on the anniversary of her death, which they lovingly referred to as her death anniversary. It was a tradition in their family to celebrate the lives of their lost loved ones on the day they passed, a practice that had always brought comfort and a sense of closeness. Nothing unusual had ever occurred during these visits, until that night. While they were at their grandma's grave, something eerie happened that made them question everything they thought they knew. They weren't sure if they had truly encountered their grandma's spirit, but what occurred next was undeniably strange.
Entidad no cierra esta puerta, miren lo que pasa.
Sí, se mira bien ahí va. Si estás aquí con nosotros, manifiéstate. Queremos verte. Queremos saber que estás aquí. Mira, guacho. ¿Lo viste?
Sí, se cerró. ¿Estás aquí con nosotros?
¡Uy! ¿Quién eres? Se cerró la puerta, güey. Se acaba de cerrar la puerta, neta. Se miró bien clarito que se cerró. Mira. ¿Hay alguien aquí adentro?
Uy, ¿quieres jugar con nosotros?
Niño, ¿dónde estás?
¿Quieres jugar con nosotros?
Mira, güey. Mira.
Está moviendo más.
Güey, ¿qué? Se está moviendo, güey. No manches, güey, se está moviendo. Mira, pues no hay nada, güey. Mira, ay. Niño, ¿en qué parte te encuentras?
Suddenly, the fence around their grandma's grave began to open by itself. It was a startling sight, and it freaked the men out immediately. At first, they were ready to leave in panic, but then they decided to stay, thinking that it might be the spirit of their grandma visiting them. For a brief moment, there was silence and stillness, as if nothing had happened. But then, strange noises started to echo from around the yard. To this day, the men remain convinced that they encountered their grandma's spirit, but they can't be certain. They'll never know for sure what really happened that night, but the experience left them deeply unsettled. 3 years ago, an incident occurred at Manzanillo Hospital that left the staff and social media users baffled. A young hospital worker captured an unexplainable piece of footage that spread quickly, sparking confusion and fear among those who saw it. The footage was so strange that no one could make sense of what had occurred. The worker, so shaken by what he had filmed, was reassigned to a different department within the hospital. This was not the type of thing anyone wanted to witness at work. Take a look at the footage. The clip starts out with a strange, indistinct image that's hard to interpret. However, upon further examination, the truth becomes clear. Just 14 seconds into the video, a faint, ghostly figure of a human head can be seen peeking around the corner at the doctor. The sight left him stunned, unable to comprehend what he was seeing. The hospital launched an investigation to find any intruders or logical explanations, but no one was ever found. The mystery remains unresolved, and the worker who filmed the event was left terrified by what he witnessed. On October 13th, 2023, Miguel was having one of the best days of his life. Everything seemed to go perfectly, and he said it was the best day he had ever experienced. He couldn't compare it to any other day. It was simply perfect. But, as life sometimes does, things quickly took a turn for the worse. What started as an amazing day soon turned into something far more terrifying. Everything seemed flawless until a ghostly presence ruined the day entirely. Miguel was living the dream, enjoying a perfect October 13th, but in a few moments, everything changed. What began as a harmless breeze of wind eventually escalated into a terrifying paranormal encounter.
Son casi las 3 de la mañana. Escuché a alguien, pero literalmente llamándome. Acá. Ahí está. No sé si se escuchará. Literalmente creo que me llamaron por mi nombre. Yo estaba medio dormido. No les voy a mentir. Me da miedo. Voy a tratar de captar. Es como mi método de defensa, ¿viste? Quiero ver si... Quiero ver si se ve algo, ¿no? Ay, mira. Esto que está acá me pasa siempre. Eso lo... pasó. Se hizo la concha. No sé si llega. Andate, hijo de puta. Sos hijo de puta.
At first, Miguel thought the movement of objects could be attributed to the wind, but as the events progressed, it became clear something far more sinister was happening. Just moments after deciding to go back inside, Miguel saw a tall, unnaturally shaped shadow figure appear in front of him. It was incredibly intimidating, and his survival instincts kicked in. He threw a pot at the figure, but the object passed right through it, hitting the shed door behind. The shadow vanished soon after, leaving Miguel shaken to his core. The memory of the encounter still haunts him to this day. 2 Japanese men were approached by a real estate agent who offered them a seemingly incredible deal, a huge house at a price far below its value. The men, who ran a YouTube channel called Japanese Horror Entertainment, immediately sensed something was off. They were used to exploring haunted places and documenting their experiences, so they immediately suspected that this house might be haunted. They were right, and they decided to investigate further. The footage was filmed around 3:30 in the morning and was posted to their channel, where it caused a stir. If you want to watch the full video, it will be linked in the description, but for now, let's focus on a brief part of it.
前さ、自分たちが行ってなんか撮ってくれた映像あるんで、見たんだけどさ、やばくない？
やばいっす。どう感じます？
結局さ、俺も契約がキャンセルになってるもんで、
言ってましたね。
そうなので改めて、売り主さんに電話で、この家って事故物件じゃないんですかみたいな、何か隠してないですかみたいな感じ、そんな強く言ったわけじゃないんだけど、そしたら事故物件ではないって言うんだけど、
そうなんですね。
そうなんかね、煮え切らんというか、なんか自分とはなんかこう話してない感じがしたもん。
At one point, a disturbing face pressed against the glass of the door. The men froze in shock, capturing the eerie image. But when one of them walked toward the door, the face vanished into thin air. The whole experience was unsettling, and it confirmed their suspicions that the house was haunted. Fishing is a pastime enjoyed by many for a variety of reasons. Some people engage in it for survival, needing to catch fresh fish for sustenance, while others participate simply for recreation, relishing the thrill of catching fish and then releasing them back into the water. In the video you are about to watch, the man was out fishing for fun, having a peaceful time on the water. However, something truly disturbing occurred when he returned to his base camp. The camp area featured a public toilet block, which was unisex and accessible to anyone passing by. The man was alone, enjoying his time outdoors, but when he arrived back at his base camp, he heard something that made his heart race.
Yo, what the What the? Bro. There's nobody in here. Yo!
A blood-curdling scream, sounding like it came from a woman, echoed through the camp. This sudden, unexplainable noise deeply disturbed the fisherman, who was used to the quiet of the wilderness. Despite his unease, the man, being the brave soul that he was, decided to investigate. He believed that someone might genuinely be in trouble and needed help. With a sense of urgency, he approached the bathroom, ready to assist if necessary. However, what he discovered inside was far from what he expected. There was nobody there. The eerie silence inside the bathroom only deepened his sense of confusion and fear. What had caused that terrifying scream? Graveyards are places that many people associate with death, loss, and the supernatural. It is widely believed that graveyards are some of the most likely locations to experience paranormal activity. These sites, where so many souls are said to be resting, hold an air of mystery, and many people feel uneasy when walking through them, especially at night. The stillness of a graveyard, combined with the knowledge of the countless deceased beneath the ground, can create an unsettling atmosphere, making it easy to understand why graveyards are often regarded as spooky places. The following video was captured in a graveyard, and it features an extraordinary and rare event: a ghost being caught on camera. Take a look.
Espíritu, alguna entidad, algún demonio de este lugar, quiero que me hagas un ruido y estás aquí conmigo. Solamente queremos saber si te encuentras con nosotros. Te estoy invocando y estás aquí conmigo. Solamente quiero saber si estás aquí conmigo. Ay, ya madre, no mames, no mames. Uy, oh madre, no manchen, no manchen, no manchen, no manchen, no manchen, no manchen. No manchen, no manchen, no manchen. Uy, oh madre. Uy, yo sé que te encuentras aquí. Yo sé que te encuentras en este lugar, queremos verte. Yo sé que te encuentras aquí. Ay, me dio miedo. Solamente queremos saber quién eres, qué es lo que necesitas. ¿Qué es lo que necesitas? Vieron, amigos, vieron.
As the camera pans to a door in the graveyard, it suddenly swings open on its own. The door creaks and moves with an eerie force, and what it reveals next is even more unsettling. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. There was no one visible behind the door, and the surrounding area was empty. The inexplicable nature of the event suggests that something from the spirit world might have been at play. The chilling realization that there was no one there, and yet something happened, was enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. The man who filmed the footage clearly seemed disturbed, and it's safe to say that he did not enjoy the experience. In another strange occurrence, two women were preparing to attend a friend's 40th birthday party. The excitement was building as they spent the entire morning getting ready. They applied their makeup, chose their new dresses, and even purchased a lavish gift to give to their friend. It was shaping up to be an unforgettable evening, filled with fun and laughter. But as it often happens, things took a bizarre turn, and it all started when they checked the cameras later on. Just as they left the room to head out to the party, they received a notification that there had been movement detected in their room. Curious, they decided to leave it for later and focus on getting to the event. Thankfully, they did. To their shock, when they checked the footage, they discovered that an item in their room had moved by itself the moment they walked out. The two women were left baffled. To this day, they have no idea how or why it happened. The mystery remains unsolved.